Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about some of the most exciting transfers to happen so far in this summer transfer window. You can get down in the comments and let me know which of these players you're expecting to perform well, if you think any of these aren't going to be very good signings. If you disagree with any of the opinions I'm going to give, let me know down in the comments and give me your reasons why. And before we get into our first transfer, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to push. We want to be at 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season. I know it's a big ask, but I believe that we can get there. So let's start off by setting a like goal here. Let's smash that like button and get to 10 likes on this video. Let's get into our first transfer. And the first transfer that we have to speak about is Erling Haaland moving from Borussia Dortmund to Man City. What a massive signing this is. For the Premier League, we haven't really seen a signing of this stature for quite a few years. He is just on that level. He's a player that you'd associate to be like a Galactico for Real Madrid or that sort of stature. And we haven't had a move like this for a while, so it's very good for the Premier League to start off with. For Dortmund, he scored 85 goals in 88 games, an incredible record, and that includes 15 goals in 13 Champions League games. More than a goal a game for Dortmund in the Champions League, which is just incredible. He's broken records over in the Bundesliga. I'm sure he'll continue to break records now in the Premier League. He is a mix of loads of different important attributes for a top striker. First of all, he has very, very deadly finishing. He has incredibly surprising pace for someone of his height. He's frighteningly quick. He's also strong, good hold-up play. I think he is going to be an absolute dream to watch. And for this Man City side, the question I've got, is he the missing piece for them to win the Champions League? I think he could be what they've been looking for. They haven't had a clinical striker since Aguero, and obviously Aguero in the last few seasons of his career, pretty injury ridden, didn't really play many matches. This could be the step that gets them that Champions League. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments. And while we're on Man City, another quick mention for them, honourable mention, Julian Alvarez. This was a signing that was confirmed, I believe, last summer, but he's now actually coming to Man City because they loaned him back to River Plate for the season. Don't know too much about him. Just know that he's a very exciting Argentinian prospect. He managed to score 6 goals in one Copa Libertadores match, which is, an incredible feat to get 6 goals in a professional football match. So that's brilliant for him. And he's a very versatile 22-year-old. He can play all the way along the front line. So it's going to be exciting to see how he fits in. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching Man City this season with these new additions. So let me know how you think they'll get on. And let's move on to our next transfer. And whilst 2 strikers join Man City, 1 departs. Gabriel Jesus has went to Arsenal. This, for me, is a brilliant signing for Arsenal because it's a player that they needed. They needed a striker. He has so many good attributes. He links up the play really well. He's quick. He always, makes those runs in the channels and gets into good positions. He's very skillful. He can get out of tricky situations. I think he is a very Arsenal player. And I think this could be the player that they need to really push on under Arteta and, sort of try and break into that top 4 now, because they've got very young players all over the pitch that are only going to get better. Adding Jesus to that in their front line is a massive, massive win for Arsenal. Very, very good signing. Now, there is a little bit of a worry that over the last 2 seasons, he hasn't got into double figures in the league for goals for Man City. However, he hasn't been playing all the games, he's been making some substitute appearances. I don't think it's much to worry about. I think with Arsenal, he will be the main man now, so it's going to be quite a bit more responsibility for him, but I think he's going to get more goals because it's more him. You look at Man City over the last few seasons, no one really stands out as a goal scorer. They get goals from all over the pitch, and a lot of them at that. With his Arsenal side, yes, their wingers and Ødegaard are going to contribute to the goals, but Jesus is going to be the main man up front. And that's why an early prediction from me, in the Premier League, I think he will manage to get at least 18 goals. I really do. I think he's going to shine. And let me know what you think of that down in the comments. How many goals will Jesus score in the league this season? But for me, if he gets 18 goals at least, that is around Golden Boot territory. So could he be, in with a chance of getting that? He's going to have some tough competition, but he is now the main man at Arsenal, and I can see him having a brilliant, brilliant time there. That's it for Jesus. Let's move on to our third and final Premier League striker. And Liverpool's answer to Erling Haaland is Darwin Nunes. This is an interesting signing. 22 years old, last season with Benfica, managed to score 26 goals in 28 league games. Very, very good return. Managed 6 in 10 UCL games as well. And 2 of those were against Liverpool. He scored in either game against them in the knockout rounds, and also scored 2 offside goals against them as well. So he was really causing them a nuisance. And that was his audition to Jurgen Klopp, who was obviously amazed at what he saw and brought him into the team. I think Nunes is going to be a good signing. He's going to be the central forward in a front three of Luis Diaz, Salah, and obviously him up top, which the pace there is frightening. I think they're going to score loads of goals. I think it's going to be very similar to the last few seasons where they're really, really smashing it, and it's going to be a very tight title race again. Darwin Nunes, is he going to be the striker that they need? Is he, how's he going to do against Haaland? Who's going to come out better, Haaland or Nunes? Let me know down in the comments. That's someone coming into Liverpool, but who left? Sadio Mane was the player who left, which was quite a big shock, as all the news was about Salah's contract being up in the air for a lot of the second half of last season. However, Sadio Mane has left for Bayern Munich. The Bundesliga champions are a little bit worried at the moment, as Lewandowski seems to be unhappy and wants to force a move out. In comes Sadio Mane. I think he's going to have that central role. He's going to be the striker for this team. It's where he was playing for Liverpool last season when Luis Diaz came in on the left. And Mane did well there. He scored 90 goals across 6 seasons in the league for Liverpool, which is a lot of contributions, obviously. And he's always been out on the left. Salah's always been the more attacking winger. So Mane has very, very good numbers. Liverpool might miss Mane quite a bit because he seemed to be the player that would trigger the press. He was very energetic and he'd always give his all for the team. Without that, are they going to have to adapt how they play? Now, Bayern Munich have got a brilliant player here. He is 30 years old, but he's still got plenty more to give. And I can see him really succeeding at Bayern Munich. It's a bit different if he does go up front. It's a much different player to Lewandowski, obviously. But I believe Mane can succeed him. And, he's going to have a very, very good time there. How do you think Mane will get on at Bayern Munich? Let me know down in the comments. And Bayern Munich haven't only signed Mane, they've also brought in one of the hottest prospects in Europe, Ajax midfielder Ryan Gravenberg. 20 years old, and it's going to have a maximum cost after add-ons of 20 million. What an incredible bargain that is. Gravenberg's name has been mentioned over, the last few seasons. He's going to be a very, very good midfielder. And to snatch him up for that cheap is a brilliant move. I think that he is going to be one of the bargains of the summer. Maybe not for what he does this season, but for what he does in seasons to come. And if he stays at Bayern Munich, I have no doubt that he will become an integral part of their midfield. He is, such a good young player. He's came through their academy. He is a very good passer of the ball. He's got pretty much everything that he can do. He's not just an attacking midfielder. He's not just defensive. He's very, very well rounded as a midfielder, which is always good. He's got a very strong foundation as well at Bayern Munich. Look at some of the central midfielders that they have, that they've improved. They've got Kimmich at the moment, who is brilliant. Goretzka there, Sabitzer. And they've had a lot of good midfielders there in the past as well. So this is a very good foundation for him to really build his name as one of the best European midfielders. And I think it's only going to be a couple of seasons until he is absolutely running this midfield. So what an incredible bargain this is. Ryan Gravenberg to Bayern Munich. There was another central midfielder who was a very hot prospect as well, who moved to a different club. We'll move on to him next. And that midfielder is Aurelian Chuameni, signed from Monaco, 22-year-old defensive midfielder, and he's got a very high ceiling. He is very effective 1v1, brilliant at winning the ball and, starting attacks. He is going to be some player. Again, in the same sort of category as Gravenberg. If all goes well, if his development continues in the way it is, he will be one of the biggest midfielders in the world in a few seasons. Now, Real Madrid, I think we can all agree, have the most ridiculous midfield depth that I've seen for a long time. They've obviously got their main three that are all getting a bit older, Casemiro, Kroos and Modric, but they're all still so good. So what a foundation Camavinga, Chuameni and Valverde have to learn from. Because these three are going to be Real Madrid's new three once this sort of era finishes. And they have some brilliant teachers ahead of them. Those three midfielders have been bossing it for so long, 5 Champions Leagues each. They are going to be a very scary team. And Chuameni is going to fit into that so well. It's also good for France's development too. Having Chuameni and Camavinga at the same club, they are really going to get to know each other well. There's Benzema there. This is a very big signing, and although it's a very high fee for the player, it will pay off in the long run because everything we've seen so far of him is very, very good. What do you think of this signing? Him compared to Gravenberg, who do you think's going to have the better career? Let me know down in the comments. And let's finish off on a defender. And again, it's Real Madrid. They've brought in Antonio Rudiger from Chelsea on a free transfer. This is a brilliant signing. To get a player of his quality, just about to start coming into his prime, there's such a solid centre-back, commanding, good in the air, very strong in a tackle. Rudiger is going to do very, very well at Real Madrid. Now, the one thing that he might have to overcome is he's done very well at Chelsea when there's been 3 centre-backs in a back 5. He's going to have to adapt to a 4 at the back because I can't see Real Madrid changing their formation to fit him in. So that might take a little bit of time for him to adapt into a back 4, but he's such a good centre-back. Over the last few seasons, he's really started to progress, and I think he's going to be a brilliant signing for Real Madrid. And for it to be a free transfer, what a bargain this is. Brilliant signing. He is now added to Militao, Alaba, who was obviously a left back at Bayern, so maybe Alaba shifts over and it's Rudiger and Militao in the centre. They've also got Nacho Fernandez, who has 5 Champions League medals. Hasn't really featured that much for them, but he's a very reliable player that can play in all the defensive positions. So they've got some good players there, and Rudiger definitely improves their defence. So it's what they needed, and they got it for free. Brilliant business from Real Madrid. How do you think Rudiger will succeed at Real Madrid? You know, do you think he will succeed? Do you think he'll struggle to adapt? Let me know down in the comments. So, that's it for the first episode of the Transfer Roundup. I understand we've only spoken about 7 players here, 7 very exciting transfers that have happened, and there's plenty more that have happened that I will be covering in future episodes. I just picked out these players because I think they're going to have very important roles to play at their teams. However, I'll get more videos out very soon. Make sure to hit that like button. Remember, we've got a goal of 10 likes for this video. Subscribe. Want 1,000 by the end of the season. And I'm going to set another goal. I want to hit 150 before the start of the championship season. That would be brilliant. I'm glad to be back doing this because I really enjoy it. And this pre-season, I want to try and make as exciting as possible, get some varied content out. So if you've got any suggestions of content that you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments.